Hi guys, and welcome back to Keep Smiling Adventures, and today we are doing something very exciting, because normally I get to show you my bike and how it is all set up, and while that is fun to do, there is many ways to set up a bikepacking bike, and today I am joined with Graham. How you doing?
Hi, how you doing? Yeah, good.
And we are going to be taking a look at this beauty of a bike and how he sets it up, and well, everything great about this bike, and what he loves about it, and maybe what he doesn't like about it. We will see. Let's get into it. Okay, first things first, let's take a look at the frame. What is it?
So this is a Smokestone. It's my brand, little tiny outfit in the UK, and this is my what we call a bow tie, and it's a fat bike frame. But as you can see, it's not running fat bike wheels. This is running 29er wheels, so we run up to 29.3, just to give you that bit more speed on the tarmac and stuff like that. So that's what it's aimed at, and it's titanium, so it's something that's going to last you for years and years and years. So it's designed initially around about fat bike wheels, but with the way a lot of the rides I've done, I've ended up doing loads of tarmac. So I've often thought to myself, I shouldn't be on these big fat wheels, so let's try some 29ers out. And so this, like I say, takes both sides of wheels. Now the other thing is, I've gone for, this is a pre-production model. The model that's in production has proper mount for an anything cage underneath the down tube, and rack mounts. It's got all internal routing, which is all guided. So that's really handy. I've worked in I have my own bike shop, so working in a bike shop, as soon as someone says internal, it does your head in. But this is so simple, you just push it and it comes out exactly where you want it. That's the bones of it, really. As you can see on this build, we've gone, or most of the builds that we do, if you go for a complete bike, the components tend to come from Hope, just because, partly because it's British, and the other part is you can actually get it. The way things are in the world, getting anything is difficult. So, and the other bonus is you can actually fix it. So you buy stuff from Hope and you can get every little component to fix it. So this comes with, it's got Hope hubs, Hope brakes, Tech 2 brakes, 2 pots, Hope cranks and bottom bracket. Bottom bracket's been super reliable, despite some people seem to go through them quite quickly, but I've not had that issue.
That would definitely be me. Definitely be me.
And so yeah, that's basically that. It's got a tie seat post, but I'm just in the process of designing another frame which will have a dropper and all the rest of it, but that's another story.
That's what gear ratio are we running?
So gear ratio, we're running 34 50 50. It's 12 speed SRAM, and at the moment I've just switched to AXS. I bought the upgrade kit, which is just a shifter and a rear mech, purely because my bike shop, everyone in that bike shop, all the mechanics and everyone else is running it, and keeps telling me I'm in the dark ages when I'm still running cables. But the other reason I switched to this, now I'm bikepacking, the beauty of this is you've got no cables to foul anything, so you can put your bag on, and you haven't got anything to squash, which is a bit of an issue sometimes.
So one thing I think people will want to know, how long is the battery going to last on that if you're bikepacking?
So the battery, I've yet to, this battery will last for donkeys. It's just a little watch battery in there, they last for ages. The rear one, it's supposedly, I've not run it out yet, but 25 hours continuous use. Okay. Which is quite a lot. Yeah, you know, the guy, we sponsor someone who did North Cap 4000. Yeah. So he rode to the top of Finland, one charge. Yeah. It finally gave out after he got it, and he actually rode back. You know, found his way back. Anyway, that's another story. The weather was horrendous. It never played up.
So you're not going to run out of battery before you can get it charged, basically. Is what we're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Super reliable.
How do they charge? Can you charge them from a power bank, or do you?
Yes. Yeah. So you charge from a power bank. Yeah, definitely. It's got a little. Most people will carry a spare battery because the size of it. Yeah. If I show you. That's the battery.
Oh, that's
so you can carry a spare.
That's smaller than GoPro batteries.
Yeah. So you carry that in your backpack or whatever if you have to, and you just pop it in and away you go. Fitted it. I can't believe how simple it was to do. You know, you just pair it and it went. Didn't have to adjust anything. So
never missed a shift, I guess it.
No, nothing at all. Yeah, as you'll see, I've got a big old water tank under here. That's basically, having had one particular experience where I completely ran out of water and it was so hot, absolutely boiling.
This happens in England quite a lot because there's just not places to get water.
Yeah, I mean, in the particular place, I carry a water filter, but there was just absolutely nowhere to get anything. There's no free-flowing water. There's no, dirty ponds. I'm not really a fan of. Yeah. Even with a water filter.
Yeah, I personally only like streams. Yeah. They're pretty clear, to be honest. Yeah.
So that day I ran out. A bit of a swift learning curve. So from that day on, I've always gone a bit over the top with water carrying. So I carry a clean canteen. You don't even need to fill it, to be honest, because if you are riding in an area where you can get water, then you can just leave it empty. Yeah. But if you do need to fill up, you've got somewhere to put it.
And how much is that? 2 litres?
That's 2 litres.
2 litres.
Yeah. So you can actually, on this bike, the other thing on this bike is because it's a fat bike, you've got a wider bottom bracket. Yeah. Because you wouldn't get that probably on a gravel bike because the cranks would hit. So you've got a wider bottom bracket, so you can fit everything nice and low down. It's a bit of a thing about, I've got a bit of a pet hate with weight, but try to keep everything heavy down by the bottom bracket. So you could actually run 2 of these if you wanted to. Yeah. Today I've just happened to have a stove there, but we'll go through what's on the bike in a minute.
Is it titanium? Or
Yeah.
Titanium?
It's lightweight steel, stainless steel.
Lightweight stainless steel, so it's going to take a beating from all the rocks. Yeah. Nice.
No plastic.
No plastic.
So yeah, and the other stuff is I tend to now put my water here while I'm riding. It's just a really, really handy place to have the water. Obviously, if you don't want 2, you just put 1. You put sugar in there, sweets and that sort of thing.
Normally sweets for me.
Then this is just a pack for everything, stuff while you're riding.
So, what are these? The stem bags are
these are Restrap. So I started off when I first bought my first kit. We were a Restrap dealer in the shop, so I just basically got a set of Restrap kit. Some of it I didn't sort of get on with. I prefer I like to keep it as light as possible. Yeah. So this bag is basically a dry bag with straps on it. Yeah. So it's double-ended. You can just stuff in it whatever you want. Before I had the holster type.
Is the bar roll Restrap as well? Or?
No, this is Miss Grape.
Miss Grape.
So that's basically the 2 brands I've got. I've got Miss Grape front, rear, Miss Grape this bag, and the one on the front's all Miss Grape.
How many litres?
That is
on the spot.
14, and I can't remember what that is. That's probably about 12.
Yeah, it looks around the 10 mark.
But that's 14. Yeah, it could be 10. That's basically. Well, I'll show you what's in there in a minute. But that's.
I've just spotted like the best thing about this bike. That bell.
Yeah, essential.
A Mickey Mouse bell.
It's got to have it.
Yeah.
You know, so many people when you. I've mountain biked for years, and the pet hate is you come up behind somebody and you cough, and they all get annoyed. Oh, where's your bell?
I don't think you can win either way. If you use a bell, they'll hate you.
I found, because I used to have a bell, you ding, and some people don't really like. It's a bit offensive. This.
Yeah.
All they think of is little kid.
Postman.
Yeah. kids on a kid's bike, so they smile immediately. Or older people tend to relate to this. Yeah. And they're usually the ones that get narky with you. So that works. And I've got them on 3 bikes. 3 of the bikes now.
So Bikepacking Essential, get yourself a Mickey Mouse bell.
Absolutely. I've also noticed on here, I mentioned 29er wheels. We now do our own carbon rims, courtesy of Nexty. Really, really good manufacturer. So we've literally just had these. They are slightly wider. I was running a narrower 35mm rim for quite a while, but when you run like a bigger tyre, 2.8 or something, if you run them too soft, they start to squirm. And you can obviously pop it off the bead. So we've gone for a slightly wider rim. This is a 41mm with a 36 internal. So it just means that you support the tyre a bit better. Yeah. Tyres wise, these Vittoria Cannellones 29x3. Great tyres I have found, because I didn't want these tyres. Okay. I got these tyres because I couldn't find anything else.
Well, it makes sense, yeah.
I'm a great fan of mezcals.
Okay.
A lot of people use them for cross-country racing, but they're everywhere. And you go bikepacking, everyone's got mezcals. You can't get them. So, and they go up to 2.6. So I wanted a 3-inch tyre, and I saw these on a discount somewhere. So despite they were actually cheaper than we could buy them in our shop. So bought 2 sets, and they're actually pretty good. Yeah. They're a little bit draggier. But yeah, I'm getting on fine with them. They can be great for the winter that's coming. They're actually called a fat bike tyre. but it was a bit strange because to me fat bikes 4-inch and upwards. But anyway.
Oh, it's the old school. 3-inch used to be fat bike, or
Yeah,
3.5, wasn't it?
Yeah. So so that's your wheels.
I'm guessing they're set up tubeless.
Definitely tubeless. Everything is tubeless now.
Everything's tubeless.
It's just a no-brainer really. If you can, go tubeless.
Yeah, I actually agree.
Yeah. So
okay, I'll hold this for you, and let's unpack. Bike.
So bike, what's in here? So in the front, this is basically the same setup I've had for ages. I always go down this road. So in the front is tent. So I've got a copper spur, Big Agnes copper spur 2-man tent. I love it because it's got real short. I mean, he's one of the first to do nice short poles. So that's the inner and the outer.
There's a 2-piece tent.
2-piece tent, ground sheet. Unlike somebody I know, I actually add a bit of comfort, pegs. That's everything that's in there.
Rough weight of that tent, do you know? Because I know they're going to be going. What's the weight? What's the weight?
I don't know. I'll let you know.
Okay, we'll put that on screen.
So that's the top front bag. I don't like to put too much heavy stuff in there because I like the steering to still keep itself, nice and nimble. In the front is electrics. Let's just see what I've got in here. So I've got cables. I've actually got a bit of squirt lube.
That apparently is the best lube in the world. Yeah,
best lube in the world. Olight head torch, pretty essential, brilliant. See, I've got an Anchor power pack. 20.
20,000.
Yeah.
You get a few phone charges for that.
Absolutely, love it. So I've actually got, sometimes, depending on where you're going, I've got 2, but one tends to do.
Not thought about going down the dynamo route?
I thought about it, and depends on what you're doing. If you're travelling reasonably quickly, I get it.
Yeah.
But if you're pottering around slowly, you're not getting much out of it.
And I guess you like to stop at tea rooms, maybe.
Yeah.
Cafes.
Yeah. So you always get a charge.
Yeah.
So so that's that and that. On here, like I mentioned, is bottles, and your restrap bags. In here, there's nothing in here at the moment, but that would normally be probably my phone, snacks, something like that. Also in here, again, this is empty, so this would be food.
Yeah, exactly what I do.
Actually, I've got some dried milk, saying I've got nothing in there. What else is this? Can't remember. Oh, coffee.
Oh,
so, yeah.
Food.
So that'll be a food. Other side is toiletries. I've got toothpaste, aid, a few wipes. That's handy.
What's that?
It's a retractable lock. So if you go somewhere, you can't actually see it. So if someone tries to take it, oh, why doesn't it move? And by then you've discovered what they're doing. So they're really handy. It weighs nothing. First aid kit's pretty essential.
Pretty standard stuff in the first aid kit.
Yeah, it's the budget one. Well, it's the basic. It's the micro from Life Systems. It's got everything in there really that you could possibly want. There's a bit of even paracetamol in there, I think. So all the basics. Say toothbrush, toothpaste, wipes. These are Sea Summit Wilderness wipes, so they're a bit more friendly to the planet if you need to use them.
Yeah.
The essential. You haven't got one of these, Josh?
No, I just get. No.
You just burrow, do you?
I just burrow. I just burrow.
So that's for the things you may need to do
in the woods.
Yeah, in the woods. In here, I spoil myself a bit. I don't really need this, but I've got it, so I need to use it. It's too much kit not to use it. So this is my stove, which I only really use morning and night. Daytime you just get your food when you want it, but I've got a jet boil stash. It's all self-contained, everything's in, the gas is in there, there's a lighter in there, a little stove, and they use nothing when it comes to gas. They're so efficient because you've got this.
What will you normally be cooking, or is it
all this water?
More of a coffee thing.
It's basically water. So if I have a dried meal, something like that, you can just put water in it. Rather, because what I hate doing is gumming it up with food, because you've got to clean it, scrub it, it just goes all to pot. So yeah, and I've got a collapsible cup which you can also use as a bowl. Nice. In the back we have something that Josh doesn't have.
I don't have a lot of things. And you said you like to go lightweight.
So, puffer jacket.
I will actually I will carry a down jacket in the winter months.
So this is basically everything I'm showing you now is more aimed at winter. Because I've just unpacked for winter now. So it's more cold weather stuff. So I have that just in case, obviously, for getting off the bike.
Is it down or is it just?
That's down. Yeah. hydrophobic apparently, so it will take getting wet. You don't really want to do that if you can help it.
Yeah.
Packs to nothing, weighs nothing, lovely and warm. Great if you get cold at night, just chuck that on.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I use my down jacket for, just sleeping in.
Other in here we have a luxury.
Oh, so that is a luxury item.
Sleeping bag. That thing is like getting into bed, but it's a bit bulky. I have got another one, but I can't find it, which is a lot smaller.
So it's good down to -7.
Yeah, but it's,
that's probably the extremes. So.
Yeah, but it's just so nice.
Down.
That's down.
Down. Yeah.
So yeah, it is a Nevis Riff, Nemo Riff. Absolutely love it. A mat.
I don't know what this is. I don't understand what this is.
This is just the best.
We'll have to lay it out in a minute, and I'll try it out. I'll probably fall asleep.
So Nemo, it's insulated, so it keeps the cold from you at night. And
inflatable?
It's got a bag with it, so you just use the sack system. Don't blow in them because you get bugs.
That's what I was gonna.
Yeah, you get bugs inside if you blow into it, your saliva and all the rest of it. So use the bag, which I'll perhaps show you. I'm older, so I tend to look for a bit of comfort, and I've got a pillow as well.
You got a pillow? I just sleep on a rock.
To be honest with you, I probably don't need, because I could just use the puffer jacket or something like that, just in a dry bag. So that's it. This is on here because I usually carry a rain jacket, and it's just handy to get hold of.
Yeah.
And bungees are just
old school bungees.
You've got to have a bungee on your bike. So that's it really. That's the basis of it.
Nice.
Oh, the other thing I will mention is, I've got a toolkit. So this is probably not where it's going to stay. This is a bit of a temporary thing in here. I've got tyre puncture, sealant, spares. I think there's a £5 note in there as well. Tyre patch, tubeless, plug. Although word has it, I haven't used this yet, but word has it they're not very good. Oh, but anyway,
I actually have used a plug a few times.
Have you?
And it's worked every time.
Okay, that's good. That's what I like to hear. Crank Brothers.
That's a Crank Brothers.
Crank Brothers. It's got little tyre worms on it as well, plugs, which is really good. And every tool you could think of, including an 8mm Allen key, which is really, really handy. Tyre breaker, chain breaker and everything. That's in there. Spare brake pads, some bolts, all kinds of little things, chain links, all that sort of thing. It's really handy to carry. Stuff that you tend to find what you need in here when you go bikepacking. You'll think, I should have had one of those.
Yeah.
Should have had one of those, and you just remember what you should have had, and then next time put it in a little pack.
And then you will never use it again.
Yeah.
But it's better to be.
Yeah, I gotta say these, as you can see by that, I don't know if you can see it, it's pretty manky because it's never been used. It's just rattled around, but there'll be a day when you need it.
The bars.
So the other thing you may notice on here, which is something that I really sing about, I just love these bars. So these are Groupset beard bars. Cool name, cool bars. So forget the bit at the front. They initially come with, actually I can send you a link to a video I did on these.
Okay.
So they've got a lot of back sweep.
There'll be a card up there.
Yeah.
One of them things.
And so there are 20, I think it's 24-degree back sweep, or 27, I can't remember. And what I've done, so basically, let me just explain. When you're riding on your bars for a long period of time, you tend to want to move around a bit. Straight bars, I tend to find, if you're riding a distance, you tend to put your hands on the top and relax into this position. Yeah. Because it's a more natural hand position for your wrists. So when these bars came along, I thought, this is just perfect. So that's good. And you've also got another position there for cruising. I ride on these bars there a lot.
Especially if you're into the headwind.
Yeah.
You can get out of the wind a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and it's just a nice relaxed position. You've obviously got forward position as well if you really want to get into a tuck downhill. And then if you're in the technical stuff off-road, you've got the width for the control. And I much prefer, I know you like drops, I just
like
love
drops.
Flat bars, flat air bars. I've ridden on drops quite a bit, but as soon as you get into something gnarly, I don't quite know.
When it gets steep, you have to be on the drops.
Yeah.
And it is a bit unnatural because it's rough and it is odd. Yeah. Especially if you come from a mountain bike background, you'll definitely be better with
me.
Sort of...
Yeah, I struggle to brake, shift, and stay on the bike, and stay in control on drops. And my other thing is I've got a bit of a problem with my hands. Being a bit older, I tend to get pains here if I'm on drops on the hoods for too long. So anyway, for me, these bars are the business. Now on the front, I've modified them a bit. So these are two profile boxer bar ends from years back. used to be really popular. You normally have them on the end of your bars. What I did was move them in, and because of the shape of the bar on the inner, they actually meet, or almost meet in the middle. And it's a perfect place to hang your accessories and things like that. And you can obviously adjust them because they're not welded to the bar. You can change them around.
You've almost got the bars I have on my bomb track.
Okay.
You nearly have that whole sort of front area, which is, when you're bike packing, it is very useful for that added space, especially like with the light and that sort of stuff.
Because you do run out of room on a set of bars. Bars, brilliant. Grips, I love Gusset S2 grips. They're thicker on the top than they are underneath, so they just cushion your hands on the rough stuff. It's nice and soft on the top. And bit of bar tape as well I put over here, because I tend to move around quite a lot, which you want to be able to do on a long distance bike. So I put a bit of silicone bar tape, which you can reuse. That's the beauty of this stuff, it's stretchy, so there's no glue involved, so you can take it off, put it back on. So I've done that quite a lot. Other things, I mentioned what's in that bag, the electrics. I also have a little pump on the back. There's a little...
Yeah, this is quite a nice, neat little feature, that.
Yeah, so I've got a little pump in here, which you just stash away. These pumps are brilliant. It's a Toe Peak Race Rocket.
It's pretty similar to my old one, I think.
So it's got an extendable hose on it, which is really good. So that, and it's also both valves. Unscrew that, it'll be Presto or Schrader.
Perfect.
I've got 3 or 4 of these. I keep them on each bike just so I don't forget to take it with me when I go out.
So lighting.
So lighting. We have got on the front is a Raveman, and I'll just pop it off. So the reason I chose this is it's got a dip on it.
Okay, yeah.
So if you ride on, a lot of people, if you ride at night,
this is a problem I have with my Exposure Revo. You can't really. It's a dynamo, and that's it. There's no dip or anything.
Yeah. So it's gradually coming. Companies are starting to think about the traffic that can't. Basically, yes, you've got a light on and they can see the light, but they can't see because they're being blinded. So this is really, really handy. It's got two. One's a main beam. One's a dip. Easy to change. 1200 lumens. It also doubles up as a power pack if you really need it, and it's also got an indicator of when you're in whichever mode you're in. It'll give you an indicator of how much battery life you've got. In low, it's about 14 hours.
Okay. And
there's a flash mode as well, which I just love it. It's reasonably, it's not the lightest thing in the world, but then there is a battery in there, so super reliable. Raveman's not that. I don't think how many people know about Raveman.
I'll be honest, I've never heard of it.
Yeah. Best rear light you could ever buy. The most reliable one I've come across, and the brightest, is the Exposure Trace. This is the simple on-off version. None of this braking feature that they've got on the new one. Yeah, super bright. You've got to have a backlight on your bike. Even in daytime, you often see people, they'll go, if on a bright sunny day, you'll go under some trees and you just vanish because of the light, the dark light. So I always carry this, whatever. Also, if you're going out in fog, like foggy conditions, carry a brake. You don't know what you're going to come across on the ride.
Especially on bike packing. Yeah. You're in Yorkshire, you're in Wales. The weather just changes like within that. So
yeah, super bright. Lasts for ages. Very simple to fit. It charges on just like a phone charge thing. It's the old like Samsung charger, whatever you want to call it. Micro, yeah. Anyway, so that's good. I fit mine under here. Basically, it's not the ideal position, but it does get seen. It lights everything up under here. It lights the back of this pack, and it lights my tyre. But ideally, you want something on the back of your bag. So I run an extra light on the back of here, just as a fail-safe, just to make sure.
Which is something you should definitely consider when, especially if you're a smaller rider and you don't have as much seat post showing, unlike me. Make sure you can actually see your rear light, because the saddlebags do get in the way of some of these lights. So make sure, if that is the case, just stick some lights on the actual bag as well.
Yeah. And the other thing I often do, which I forgot to mention, is I put a light on my helmet. Okay. So I've got a Lesine, which has got front and rear light on it, and it flashes, and that's pretty good to stick that on your head. There's no way you can't be too seen, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So that's another one. And then the other thing, slightly going back to the front cockpit, is I have a Wahoo. All my navigation's done with an Element Roam, and I just love the simplicity of it. I had a Garmin before, and I'm being an older person than yourself. I tend to like simple. I'm okay with tech, I do lots of stuff, but for me this was nice and simple. Links to your phone, use Komoot, plan out your route, and it just links straight to it. It's a breadcrumb, it's mono, it's not colour, but it does work really well until you stop.
Yeah, this is the problem I had with it as well. So yeah, carry on explaining with this one.
So if you stop, when you're riding along, you have your breadcrumb, as soon as you stop, it vanishes and it will spin around, and then you can't see where you're going and where you've been or anything. So that is the only downside of this, and I've noticed a few people comment on it.
So woohoo, are you watching? Fix it.
Yeah, fix it. So what I tend to do is move. So if I can't see where I've got to go, I'll have to move a bit, and then it just sets it going again. But that is a bit of a pain. But I just love the simplicity of it. It's never let me down. I know you've had issues with one, but yeah, for me, I did. The only issue I did have was the screen had a little. I'm not sure what happened to it, but it had a little bit of a. It was sort of degrading at the bottom of the screen. Told Wahoo they sent me a brand new one, no problem, next day. So yeah, love it.
Right guys, so there we have it. What's the actual bike called?
Smokestone bow tie.
Smokestone bow tie. That's a great name. Yeah. It needs a bow tie on it though.
It does. Yeah. It actually has got a little bow tie there. The logo.
Yeah, it has a bow tie.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the channel and showing your bike off, because I know I always get a lot of questions how I pack my bike up, and that's how I do it, but there's so many different ways of bike packing and how you want to set up. It's you know, it's all personal preference, and there's no right or wrong way. So this is how Graham does it. Leave some comments down below. I will also link his YouTube channel down below, and some card, or you know, all the YouTubey things. And until next time, keep smiling.
Enjoy the adventure.
Peace.